Hey everybody, welcome back to another Sunday special. This is going to be a long one. I mean a long one, but it's going to be worth it. We're doing the top 25 Confetti Cannon race cars. We've got 3 honorable mentions on this list that we will get into first, and we're doing all 25 in one day. So buckle up and get ready. All right. Now that I got my big yawn out of the way, our first, what did I call it? Our first honorable mention will be a car from last year, 2019 season, and it's going to be the Homestead car of Kyle Busch. So this car has some confetti on the windshield, on the splitter, on the hood, decent amount of confetti on the roof, and then a little bit as it trails off towards the back. But overall, there's confetti on the car, no doubt about it. It's just not enough to get into the top 25. So this one comes in outside of the top 25. Oddly enough, the other car coming in, or one of the other cars coming in outside the top 25 is Kyle Busch's Homestead car from 2015. Again, same deal. Decent amount of confetti on the hood, decent amount on the windshield, a little bit more on the roof, but none on the deck lid and none on the splitter. Very, very little. So this one comes in at as one of the honorable mentions. Because believe me, the rest of these got tons of confetti. But that is another honorable mention. And while we're on the theme of champions, another honorable mention is going to be the 2006 Jimmie Johnson Daytona 500 win with all the confetti. Pretty spread out confetti all over the car. You know, it's literally on every corner of it, but it's all spread out. It's not real caked on there. And we call it confetti cannon for a reason, because the top 25 are caked in confetti. So we are through the main part here. Let's go ahead and take a look at our top 25. So, as I move a little room over here for these to sit so I don't run out of room, coming in at the number 25 spot, it's going to be driver the number 42 Target Chevrolet, Kyle Larson. This is the Cars 3 edition, or I think it was Cars 3, that they ran. It's also autographed, but you can see the confetti all on that hood. We got the windshield, the roof, and then a little bit more here as it trails off towards the deck lid. You know, if you were going to put it out there, decent amount on the windshield, moderate amount on the hood, moderate on the roof, and then a little bit on the deck lid and window. So not a crazy amount of confetti, but enough to land it at number 25 on our list. Coming in at the number 24 spot, a car from the 2020 season, probably the only one that's on this list. And it's going to be Alex Bowman's Fontana race win. So this car is all caked with confetti on the left side. You can see it is all over the left side. It's on the windshield on the left side, on the hood on the left side. And if it had stayed that way, it'd probably be a lot higher. But you get over to the right side, and it's just clean. Like nothing got to this side of the car. One little piece of confetti straight off and got over here. But otherwise, you can see on the hood, very unbalanced. Heavy on the right, not so heavy on the left. Very heavy on the windshield on the right, not on the left. Same with the roof, and same with the back window and the deck lid. So, for whatever reason, one side got caked in confetti, but the other side was pretty darn clean, which is what lands it at number 24 on our top 25. Now, on our number 23 spot, this is going to be a car that is my only Casey Kane on this list. The only one that really has any confetti on it, moderate amount. It's going to be the 2008 Casey Kane All-Star Race Win. And this one has a pretty moderate amount of confetti almost everywhere. Hood, windshield, roof, back window, wing, deck lid. A little bit here on the side. There's some on the splitter. The right side's got some up around this area as well. So we got plenty of confetti on here. The star confetti always looked good because there was a lot of pieces, but they were smaller pieces of confetti. And when it got on there, it looked pretty darn good. So, with the stars on there, they are fairly spread out, but they definitely earn it a spot on here just by the sheer coverage and then plus the smaller confetti, which is harder to tell, but definitely still on there. So, that was what bring that one in at number 23. Now, at number 22, going to be probably a lot of people thought this would be higher. Chase Elliott fans, let me hear it for your 2019 Roval car. So the 2019 Roval car is literally caked on the windshield. Really pretty heavy on the roof. Almost a little moderate on the hood, not as much. There's some on the splitter and on the very front of the nose, but the Napa's all cleaned off. And then you get to the back and there's a kind of a pile of it on the deck lid, but not much on the rear window either. So Very, very heavy in a very specific area, but once you get outside that area, it's not near as heavy anywhere else on the car, and that's what brings this one in at number 22. Now, coming in at the number 21 position, it's going to be the other 2019 Chase Elliott car that had confetti, the 2019 Talladega Win. Again, very heavy on the, it's not caked, but heavy on the windshield, heavy on the roof, better on the hood, and better on the rear window and deck lid. And that's what allows this one to get up there. You can see on the right side, there's very little that like stuck to the side of the car or anything like that, you know, a little bit up here. But for the most part, the hood is moderate, the windshield is heavy, the roof is pretty heavy, rear window is moderate, and then deck lid is just kind of there, and then you got a little bit spill over there, but that's enough to bring this one in at number 21. Now, number 20 on our list is going to come in as the number 41 Ford from the Daytona 500 of Kurt Busch. So this one you can see on the front, we've got sod. That's, I don't know if that counts as confetti or not, but we're going to call it unique one nonetheless. Moderate amount on the windshield and the roof and the rear window and the deck lid and the sides. Literally the sides have confetti all around them. You get to this side, there's confetti all down the side, confetti all over the deck lid, the rear window, the roof, the left side here, all the way to the front is also got a lot of confetti on it. So confetti is pretty heavy on this one, but it's not as centralized. It is more spread out. But that's what brings this one in at number 20. So I'm running out of room. I'm going to have to start replacing them back over here, and we'll get a group shot at the end. We're going to move on to number 19, which, ironically, is the number 19 car of Carl Edwards. His Xfinity Richmond car, moderate to heavy on the windshield and the hood, and pretty heavy on the roof, moderate on the rear window. Deck lid's pretty empty, but then you get the sides. We've got solid confetti on all sides of this car. The right side's up here more, but the left side, it's kind of all over this left side. Not caked in it or anything, but still fairly heavy. So decent amount of confetti on here. Again, just a little bit more on the right side and a little bit more balanced on the hood. So that's what puts this one in at number 19. All right, so coming in at number 18 is a Fontana car. Go figure. It's going to be Jimmy Johnson's 2016 Fontana race win in the Superman car. We've got heavy confetti on the windshield, moderate to heavy on the hood, moderate to heavy on the roof, heavy on the rear window, and moderate on the rear deck lid, with a decent amount on the side, literally the whole side, including on the tires, including on the front, including on the back, a little bit on the deck lid, but then you go to the right side, it's still pretty decent confetti amounts all down this right side. So a lot of confetti on this car. What do you know? We already have 2 Fontanas on this list. Believe me, we're not done yet, but Fontana and their confetti cannon sure seems to be working pretty well. But that is what brings this one in at number 18. Coming in at the number 17, we're going to have, shocker, shocker, another Fontana car, shocker, shocker, another Jimmy Johnson car. The 2010 Jimmy Johnson Fontana race win. You can see here we've got heavy confetti on the windshield, heavy on the hood, heavy on the roof, moderately heavy on the rear window and deck lid, and then pretty decent and heavy on the side. This one has some of the most confetti on the side of a car that of any of them that I've seen. Also the right side fairly clean, but you can see there's still some up along those windows, but mostly the left side pretty heavy on that confetti. Also, of course, the hood and the splitter have a decent amount of confetti as well. But overall, this one just caked in confetti. What do you know? It's another Fontana car. Just has a little bit more than the other Johnson, which is what puts it up at number 17. Now, coming in at number 16, we're going to get to, I believe, our second Michigan one on the day, and it's going to be Kyle Larson's 2017 Michigan race win. So this one here has got confetti all over the left side. We've got heavy confetti on the hood, heavy on the roof, heavy on the rear window, heavy on the rear deck lid, heavy on the hood, the right side. Well, upper right side, you can see pretty heavy up there, but this one's got a decent amount of confetti. Now, the reason I say it's pretty heavy, this one could probably be a little bit higher, but it's pretty easy to tell. The target is on there. I mean, there's a lot of confetti, but you can still tell what it is. Windshield's pretty much unreadable. The hood, the roof is pretty readable. The rear window, pretty heavy, and then the deck lid is a little readable. You can tell it's cottonelle by one side, but the other side's pretty much clogged up. And you'll see a theme as we get deeper into these videos. These everything on the car is going to get harder and harder and harder to read. So, but this one's got a great amount of confetti all over the top of this car and on some of the sides. So that is what brings this one in at number 16. Coming in at number 15, it's our first Bristol car of the video, and this is going to be Carl Edwards' 2014 Bristol car, with a moderate heavy amount on the front hood, a heavy amount on the windshield, pretty decent on the roof, but then again heavy on the deck lid and heavy on the rear window. A little bit on the side. The right side is actually pretty clean. You can see a bunch of confetti up here, but for the most part stayed pretty darn clean. The smaller confetti that they used to cut back in the 2014 season also is what helps this car have, there's just more pieces of confetti because they're smaller. You can see how much smaller the confetti is on these versus, say, the Talladega or the Fontana. You know, they have the confetti shrunk in terms of dimensions. So, still, a decent amount of confetti on this car. Definitely more balanced all the way around the car. But as I said, that's the only difference between this one and the Larson is smaller confetti pieces on the Carl Edwards. But still good enough to bring it in at number 16. Am I right here? 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. Number 15. Number 14 on our list, we've got another one of those nice black and yellow star-styled Elite Race Wins. It's going to be Jimmy Johnson's 2016 champion or 7-time champion ceiling car. This one's got the black and yellow confetti. It is all over the left side. You can see it up on the hood. It's pretty decent on the hood, heavy on the windshield. You can't even tell what that windshield banner it says. You can tell the 48's under there, but still a pretty decent amount of confetti. Deck lid, it's lows, but a lot of confetti there. Also on the rear window a lot. You can see this area here is caked full of confetti, and on you get to the right side, all the way from here to the window, to the back window, to back here, still really heavy in the confetti, so lots and lots of confetti. Yes, it's a little bit more readable than, say, some of the other types of confetti, but that has more to do with the shape of the confetti than the amount. So this one will still come in at the number 14 position, just based on the amount of confetti that they were able to shoot onto this car. All right. So coming in at the number 13 position, I believe. Let me make sure. 3, 6, 9, 12, 13. Yep. Number 13 on the list, another Hendrick car. It's going to be the only Jeff Gordon car on this list, but it's the Jeff Gordon 2014 Kansas Night Race Win. This one has got confetti all over the nose, heavy on the hood, heavy on the windshield, heavy on the roof, decently heavy on the rear window, but also heavy on the side, heavy on the deck lid. So we got a lot of confetti. Also, smaller cut confetti, like we said before, on this car. A little bit more than the Carl Edwards Bristol Win, so it's obviously all over that. But you can see just on this car, a lot of confetti. You can't hardly read the number on the roof. You can tell it's Exalta just because of the zoom out, but there's plenty of confetti on here. You got O'Reilly on there, which is also fairly covered up by confetti, and then a lot of confetti as you get back here. So very colorful, a lot of confetti on there, but that is enough to bring it in at number 13. Now, coming in at the number 12 position? Yeah, we're on 12. It's going to be a 2019 car. Let's see, how many of those we got? I got to check and see. I think I got a decent amount yet. But 2019 was a lot of confetti, and this one is no different. The 2019 Martin Truex Jr. Martinsville Fall Race Win. He won in this car and got locked into the championship 4. You can see we got a championship splitter covered in confetti. Can hardly tell. Confetti all over the hood. You can barely tell that it's the auto owner's car. Can't even read the windshield. Lots of confetti there. Lots of confetti on the roof. It does tail off as you get towards the back. You see a lot of confetti on the left side. The rear window starts to tail off, and then the deck lid's pretty empty. But we do have a decent amount of confetti that caked this side of the car. Basically the entire hood and front end area, and then a little bit onto this left side. But yeah, not readable on the windshield. Pretty hard to read the hood if it wasn't for the big logo. And then the number's got a decent amount of confetti on there as well. So still enough to bring it in at the number 12 position. But coming in at number 11 is another 2019 car. This is going to be Kyle Busch's Fontana 200 career NASCAR race wins. This one's got confetti, a decent amount here on the left side, much heavier on the windshield, or not much heavier on the windshield, similar on the windshield, similar on the hood, little heavier on the window, a little heavier on the deck lid as well from the Martin Truex. Very close nonetheless. Again, confetti here, similar, but once you get towards the back, it does have a little bit more confetti on the back and a little bit more on the left side for the entire left side, and then a little bit more on the right side. So it's enough to bring it ahead of the Truex by a small margin, but that's all it takes to bring it in at number 11. Now, into the top 10 we go. Number 10 on our list, shocker, it's a Fontana car, and this one is going to be the 2011 Kevin Harvick, Fontana race win. You can see the left side, we have got a solid amount of confetti all down this left side. You get onto the hood, you can barely tell it's a Jimmy John's logo. You can see we got confetti down on the splitter, up here on the nose. Again, barely tell it's a Jimmy John's logo. Can't see inside the car. It's caked on there. The 29 up here, you can see it, but it's pretty heavy there as well. Left side rear window, or the rear left side window, is also pretty covered up. Moderate amount on the rear windshield and a decent amount on the deck lid. The other thing on this one is the right side windows are pretty much completely covered up. You can't really see in this car at all. Lots and lots of confetti in there as well. Biggest difference between this one and the Kyle Busch is going to come down to the amount of confetti on the hood and on the roof. A lot heavier on the roof and on the hood. Probably about the same on the deck lid and rear window, but the little bonus over the hood and roof is enough to put this car ahead of the Kyle Busch car at number 10. Now, coming in at our number 9 spot, it's another 2019 car. I'm telling you, 2019, those cars, for some reason, just had lots of confetti. I mean, let's count on our list right so far. We've got 1, 2, let me keep counting here. I know there's another. 3, 4, and this is number 5 in the 2019 season. It is the 2019 Daytona 500 winner of Denny Hamlin. So Denny Hamlin's car, you can read the FedEx on the hood, pretty light there, but really heavy once you get to the windshield, really heavy on the roof. I mean, for how plain these numbers should be, they're pretty tough to find. The back windshield is practically a solid confetti cake. I mean, there's not much you can see through this car, but there is a little. Deck lid is very, very heavy. Also, the left side, we've got confetti all around the sides of the car and stuck to the actual side, which is one of the things you'll notice trending forward there'll be a lot more of. And then a decent amount piled up here on the top of the car. Pretty clean as you get down, but there's still some stuck to the side. But the main thing on this one that puts it ahead of the Harvick is a caked rear window versus just kind of heavy. This is the first one. It's got decent, heavy, caked, and then heavy again. So that alone, I mean, you got, even on the rear bumper, we got chunks of confetti. So there's confetti everywhere. But that's enough to bring this one in at number 9 position. Now, coming in at number 8, shocker, it's another 2019, it's another Truex, and it's Martin Truex 2019 Sonoma race win. The left side is pretty clean. You can see there's confetti on the tire. So you know if there's confetti on the tire, we're already trending in the right direction. But you can see pretty heavy confetti there. But once you get up to the hood, it's a Bass Pro car, but you can barely tell. There is a ton of confetti on the nose of this car. Look at the splitter. Confetti all around the splitter, all around the nose and headlight, all over the hood. Very heavy there. A caked windshield. Little light cake, but it is pretty caked. Very heavy on the roof, lighter on the deck lid, and then pretty much caked on the rear window. It's light. Caked on the deck lid, and then really heavy on the right side. You can see on the right side, we've got confetti all down the right side of this car, all the way from the back to the front. There's confetti on each part of this car. So very, very heavy confetti on this Sonoma car. They definitely let it go, and they caked this thing full of confetti. But that's enough to bring it in at the number 8 position. Now, coming in at the number 7 position, guess what, everybody? It's another 2019, and this one is Alex Bowman's first career win at Chicagoland Speedway. Now, this one is a little bit lighter in some spots, but the main thing that puts this one over the top, look at this section right here. Very, very caked. Rear window is very heavy. This window's heavy. This Axalta logo on the side can barely even be read. Obviously, the 88 there, you can see very, very heavy towards the back and bottom of the roof. The windshield is pretty much all but caked in. The Axalta on the front is hardly readable. You can see the nose just confetti all over the front of this car, anywhere from here down the front, on the splitter, all over the nose. You know, it's practically caked on the windshield. Little, you know, it's not quite there, but very, very, very close, and, you know, just ridiculously heavy confetti. You get over to the right side, none of it gets stuck to the side, so it is heavier than all the other ones, but it doesn't have as much on the actual side of the car. That is enough to put it ahead, just with this being caked here and there. So 2 spots where it's truly, really caked on there tight, but still very, very heavy in the confetti. As I said, 2019 was a confetti cannon type of year, but still very, very good amount of confetti, still a very solid looking race car. Good first win, too. But that is enough to bring that one in at number 7. Now, coming in at the number 6 position, we're only going back a couple years to 2017, and we're going to look at the Bristol sweep set. Not the whole set. We're looking at just the Bristol race win from 2017 of Kyle Busch. You can see the hood. You can't even read the hood. It is caked. The window is caked. The roof is really heavy, moderately heavy on the deck lid and the rear window. You know, decent amount over here on this area, but the main area on this car is the hood. You can't even read it. You really can't. There is so much confetti on the windshield and the hood that it is almost unreadable. And then the roof, it's still really heavy, but it's a little bit less, and you can at least kind of make out the 18. But there is no making out the windshield or the hood. There is just so much confetti. That's really a big, there's a lot of confetti on this. It is truly caked on there. But it's not even in our top 5. It's number 6. So you can imagine our top 5 is going to get even more crazy. Now, coming in at our number 5 position, I've got big news. There's one driver who has 3 cars in the top 5. He's got number 5. It's going to be Brad Keselowski's Fontana race win from 2015. Now, this car has a lot of confetti on the side, so decent amount there. It's moderately heavy on that left rear window, but the hood, it says Worth. You can barely tell. You can see a lot of confetti, a lot of dirt, but it does have Worth under there, but you can barely see the logo. Can't even make out what it is. Windshield, cake covered. You cannot see through this windshield. It is not possible. There is too much confetti on there. You get to the roof, can barely tell it's a 2. This whole bottom area is caked and pretty tough to see the top part, but very heavy. Heavier on the rear window, and this area here is heavier than the Bristol one that was before it, and then a lot of confetti up around this area, and then a decent amount on the deck lid. But mainly the windshield is heavier, the hood is about the same, and the roof is a little bit heavier than the Kyle Busch one. Otherwise, of course, they're all very, very close once you get up here. But that is enough to put this one ahead at number 5. So coming in at our number 4 spot, it's another Brad Keselowski car. This is another confetti cannon beauty, and this is the 2014 Talladega race win. Now this car has the Red's Wicked Ale on the front. Now that one is illegible and readable, but you see the Ford logo, you can't tell what that is. Tons of confetti around the logo here. Windshield, forget about it. You can barely tell there's a playoff banner, because there is a playoff banner in there, but you can't even see it. Let's see a little bit down there on the nose, left side. Decent amount of confetti on the left side, really caked on the windshield, front and back, heavy on the roof and deck lid, moderately heavy on the hood, and then a decent amount on the right side and the left side. So just confetti, pretty spread out, but it's still on the side, and then a bunch on this side as well. So just confetti all over this car. As I said, every window is basically caked. That's caked, that's caked, that's caked, that's caked. You are not seeing inside this car, except for the window net on the other side. But there is a ton of confetti on the windows. The roof is extremely heavy. The hood is moderately heavy, and then, as I said, the deck lid's pretty heavy as well. So lots and lots of confetti on this car. Definitely deserving of its top 5 spot, but unfortunately not as deserving of number 3 as our next one, which is the 2019 Kevin Harvick Texas race win. This one is somewhat heavy on the hood. You can see that it's Busch, but once you get after that, the windshield is caked. The roof, you don't even know what number this is. The rear window is completely covered, and the deck lid is completely covered. I have no idea who the sponsor was here. I have no idea what the DIN would be if it was in there. I don't even know if there's possible to tell. The number 4 is in there somewhere. You can't even tell. There's like one line showing. And then the window, there's playoff banners, but you can barely tell. There's tiny little gaps in there. So this car is absolutely caked. As I said, the windows on the other car were caked on all 4 windows, but this one has a roof where you can't read the number and a deck lid where you can't read the sponsor. So arguably, I would say they have the same amount of confetti. This one is much heavier in this specific spot and in the deck lid spot. The windows are the same. Very hard to see through either window, almost impossible on either car. But the main thing that puts this one ahead is the deck lid with a completely non-readable deck lid, and then if you told someone what number's on the roof, they wouldn't tell you. They would not get it right. So the fact that the roof is unreadable and the deck lid's unreadable is the only reason this is ahead of the Brad Keselowski car. Probably a little less total confetti on it, but much more confetti cannoned. I mean, it really looks like it got slapped. I mean, right here alone, look at that side. There is a ton of confetti up here and up here. It's like somebody just dumped buckets of confetti in one spot. I mean, it's heavy. But yeah, that's enough to put it here at number 3. Probably interchangeable with number 4. That Keselowski and this one are probably pretty interchangeable at 3 and 4, but very, very close nonetheless. Now, on to our number 2 spot. It's going to be number 2, Brad Keselowski, the only car on this list that I saw in person, and that is the 2019 Kansas night race win. So on the hood, you see it's supposed to be Worth. Can't hardly tell. The confetti matches the car, which is probably actually hurting it because you can't even tell how much red confetti is on the roof because it matches the car. But same thing on the front. Look how much white confetti is on the front. You can't tell. There's so much confetti that you can't even tell the colors on the front and the back. So being it's red and white confetti, it is really, really hard to see all the confetti. It blends into the car, and it's still not readable. You still can't read that. You're not looking through that windshield. Impossible. You can tell the number 2's up there, so that's more readable, but the deck lid, you can't read it. The rear window, you can't read it. You see all down the windows, there's a lot more confetti there in that area, and then a decent amount of confetti back here where he blew the rear end out of it. But yeah, the main thing that puts this over, the front and rear window are the same. Yes, you can read the roof, but you can't read the hood. So the deck lid is the same, but I would say because the hood is probably a more valued spot on the car, the Harvick one has got a decent amount, same as I'd say, basically, this one is heavy as the Harvick roof, and the roof is heavier than the Harvick hood. And that's the reason I put it into number 2. Lots of confetti on here, and if the colors were even better, I mean, look at how the colors blend with this car. If this color was different, there'd be even more confetti on here that you couldn't even see the number, most likely. So, loads of confetti for our number 2 spot. Absolutely caked full, but it doesn't beat our number 1. The number 1, frankly, was a pretty easy decision. Go ahead and put a timestamp down below of who you think it is. I'm sure most of you will know, because this car was absolutely cannoned with confetti. So put a timestamp of 26:30 down below with your prediction. If you put it in later, then whatever. I don't know. I'm just saying you should probably do it. And if we're watching it live on the premiere, put it in there, and I'll see how many of you guys got it right. But our number 1 confetti cannoned race car is a 2018 Eric Jones first win. So this car, and here's the only issue with it. It probably has a little bit less confetti than the 2019. But the reason I will put this at number 1, and I will hold it at number 1, is this car, you cannot read the deck lid, you cannot read the rear window, you cannot read the front window, you cannot read this window, you can barely see through that window. Very caked all up along this side. You can read the hood logo only because the sponsor made them. That logo would not have been legible. It was that caked. It would have been caked, 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 caked. And Toyota said, you're not making a car unless my logo shows through. So originally, you would not have logos. They probably wouldn't have even had to get rights for this car. They could have just caked this full of confetti and nobody would have known the difference because there was that much confetti. This car, the reason it comes in at number 1, is they actually had to alter the car and put the logo in and take confetti out because there was so much confetti. And that 100% deserves the number 1 spot because, like I said, you can't read the rear window, the front window. The roof is barely legible. As I said, they made them remove confetti so that you could see their logos. The rear deck lid, you can't even tell what's on there. You get over to the right side, there is heavy confetti over here, all down the right side, up on top as well. I mean, this is a gray car. This is a gray car. How much gray do you see up here? So that is what puts us at number 1. As I said, the biggest thing about this car that really does put it up at number 1 is the fact that they actually had to scrape the hood, or not scrape the hood, but they had to make the hood, make the logo show on the hood because the original car, which Eric Jones still has, I believe, had so much confetti on it you couldn't read the logo, and that is deserving of the number 1 spot. So that's our whole top 25 with 3 honorable mentions. We are going to go ahead, or I should say I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to line these up for you here over the next 2 minutes or so. As I talk about these cars, I am putting the honorable mentions off to the side. You will not see the Kyle Busch Homesteads, either one of them, or the Jimmy Johnson Daytona, but we are going to do the top 12 or 13 in the back, and then we're going to do the other ones in the front, and we're going to whole group picture for fun. So, number 25, 24, 23, I'm going to have to squeeze them even tighter. 22, 21, number 20. What was 20? Oh my gosh, I messed it up, guys. Here's number 20. Number 20 is over here. Let me try and turn it so you guys can at least see what I'm doing. So here we're lining them up. I'm going to let you guys see from there. Number 20. Number 19 is the Carl Edwards car. We're going to put that over here. I'm trying to get them out of order, but I'm actually getting really out of order right now. Slide these all forward. 19, 18 up here. That one's here. That one is here. That one is here. That one is here. Yes, okay. So I'm back in order. Didn't get too discombobulated. I was getting there by a little bit. So what do we got? 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm gonna have to really back up here. 10, and we'll do 12. So we got 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, and number 12 is the Jimmy Johnson Homestead. So kind of a bummer one to have to leave out of the front row, but it's all right. We'll make them all squeeze. Number 12. All right, so number 11, we're going to come stretch it right back over here. You guys probably couldn't even see that. Number 11 is that Jeff Gordon car. Number 11, was it Jeff Gordon? Yes. Number 10, I believe, was this guy right here. Number 9 would have been the Kyle Busch. Number 8, Denny Hamlin. Number 7, Martin Truex. Number 6, Alex Bowman. Number 5, Kevin Harvick. I'm off. I didn't count them right. I think I started at 20. I need to start at 25 maybe. Either way, I'm still getting them all in here. They'll all fit, so don't worry. We're going to get them all in here. It's going to be a tight squeeze, but we're going to make them work, so don't you worry. We're going to get her taken care of. Fontana, Talladega, Texas, Kansas, and our number 1 spot of Daytona. All right, guys, let's go ahead. I'm going to pull this off the tripod. I'm going to slide the tripod out of the way so we can all see all the cars that are down here, get a good look at them. And we're going to do some fun comparisons while we're here. So there we go. I'm going to have to back up even more. Look at that. It takes my whole table. But there it is, our top 20 Confetti cars. By the breakdown, we have by far the winning track on this list as Fontana. As Fontana does have, I mean, maybe it's easiest to show just by the front half of them. We've got a Fontana car there. We got 2. We've got 3. We've got 4, 5, and 6. So we've got 6 Fontana cars in the top 25. We have, I believe, 1 Homestead car in the top 25. I'm looking at it to make sure. Chicago, we've got 1. Kansas, we've got 2. Daytona, we've got, I believe, with the summer race, we've got 3. Bristol's got a couple. Richmond's got 1. Charlotte Roval, Talladega's got just 1, I think. Maybe 2. Looks like Texas has 1. All-Star Race has 1. So there's kind of a mix after that, but by far the winning track is Fontana, and it's really not close. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. This was a long video. If you stayed tuned this long, thank you much. I really appreciate it. Do give it a thumbs up and share it below. It was a long video to make and very difficult to get all these cars back out and then have to kind of sort through them and pick them in order so that I got them right. But I'm glad I could bring the video. It's a fun one to do. So again, thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. This has been Race Craze, and I'll see you in the next Diecast review.